Good evening. It's the Landlord Gardener coming at you. So I wanted to do a video that will bring up some discussion on a subject that many growers have thought about, and I'm sure that there is a generalized science about this particular topic, but I wanted to talk about it because it will become a growing issue in the fruit growing, mango growing community, because the more varieties we come in contact with, the more varieties that we want. And look at that mango tree right there at that office. Or when you get into this life, you just spot them everywhere, just everywhere. So as stated, and that is the science when dealing with potted growing mangoes versus mangoes in the ground. Specifically, varieties that don't seem to do well in the ground, but do exceptionally well in pots. Why is that? What is it? So what is the science? What's going on? What is the difference? And as I was driving, I was just thinking, and the reason why this has jumped on my mind is because of a post on Mango Tree Growers of America. Shout out to Mango Tree Growers of America, one of the greatest Facebook pages out there, just phenomenal. And it should be a YouTube page. It should be. But that's another story. But we get these varieties, and then a lot of us are collectors. Actually, we collect things. I've been collecting things for years, collecting one thing or another. I used to collect comic books, and from that to dogs to this, that, and the other. A lot of us really are just collectors. And when you get to these fruit trees, everything don't produce 100% in the ground in Florida, allegedly. And like I said, what really inspired me was a post on Mango Tree Growers of America, or I was trying to say, was I saw an individual that chopped down ice cream mango, butchered it. I mean, butchered it. And this is a variety that I certainly feel that people should have on their property, because it's so unique. I mean, when I say it's unique, it is so unique. It is so delicious. If you have a good, the only down, it really is not a down point, but the only thing I would change is the size, which would be bigger. But just saw somebody that I knew. It doesn't seem to grow well in a lot of places in Florida, allegedly. And mine, for the first time, did great last year in the ground and in the pot, both. And it's such a good mango that I went out and got a couple of more trees. And the reason why is because I wanted to have enough for the church and the home. And it's a small fruit, so I went out and got a few more trees. So I probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I probably have 5 ice cream mango trees. They're not fast growers in my property, and they seem to be decently. They seem to produce pretty decently. But what is it? What is it? It got to be the nutrients. Because what is the difference between a tree growing in the ground and a tree growing in a pot? There's a controlled environment is what it is. The one in the pot get all its nutrients because it is centralized into the pot. It doesn't just wash away, over the yard. It has to be. Now, Dr. Richard Campbell or somebody from down there can correct me if I'm wrong, but it has to be something to do with the nutrients when it comes to mango trees that do better in pots than in the ground. And if that is the case, now I'm gonna do a few tests myself, so it'll probably be a couple year test that I'll be looking at this. But I mean, the nutrients is concentrated when it's in a pot, and this might just be a mango tree that need to be baby. It need to have more nutrient than others. Get lychee, not longan, but get lychee. If you don't water lychee, and if you don't give them a certain amount of water, they're not going to produce. They're not going to grow. All that stuff is just not going to happen. And it has a cousin, the longan. It's not that way. These trees are fickle. They can be. But just a thought, y'all. It's a thought. So my suggestion for individuals that absolutely love ice cream mango is to feed it. Let's try this. Let's make this an experiment all the way across Florida and all the way across California and the neighboring states. I'm not telling y'all to go and burn up your trees. Don't put that on me, because I don't have trees to give you. I'm saying, let's try those that are in the ground. Let's try to feed them a little bit more than we do normal mango trees, which when mango trees mature and they get big enough, we don't feed them at all. Most people don't feed them at all. But let's try that. Let's try giving them a wealth of food, not burning up the roots. And let's see if that changes the course of this particular fruit tree. It has to be the nutrients, because if it do well here in pots but doesn't do well in the ground, this is just me thinking, it's not the weather. It's obviously not the weather. So it has to have something to do with the amount of nutrients that it needs. And different trees, different fruit are different. They're just different. Let me give you an example, right? Let me give you this example, and then I'm going to go, because this video is getting kind of long. Okay, back before I got into the fruit trees, I was into a lot of veggies. I had collard greens and broccoli, which look identical when they're in the pot, without the broccoli starting to bloom in the middle. Identical. But one thing that I noticed over the 3 years that I was doing veggies is that if you did not water the broccoli double the amount of times that you did the collard greens, they would wither. They would be sad. When you could water the collard greens once a day, and they would be fine. And I had, oh man, I wish I had done videos back then. Y'all would have loved it. I had rows. I did 5-gallon bucket. I was growing everything in 5-gallon buckets. I had like a few hundred 5-gallon buckets of everything. I could water the collard greens once a day, but if I tried that with the broccoli, without the broccoli pushing up through, I mean when it was just in its leaf stage, big beautiful leaves looking identical to collard greens, they had to be watered twice a day. They had to. And if I didn't water them twice a day, they would look sad. They would be weeping, crying. You walk out in the backyard and be like, they'd be like, what are you doing? I thought you loved us. So, you know, this might be the case with the ice cream mango tree and trees like them that do so much better in pots than in the ground. Orlando Gardener coming at, just sharing my thoughts, and y'all comment down below. Y'all comment and let me know what y'all think about what I'm talking about. Those down in South Florida, those in Tampa, Florida, those in West Palm Beach, I'm calling all y'all out. Those in Central Florida, those out in California, Texas, all y'all mango tree growers, what do y'all think about this thought? Maybe some varieties they're a little bit greedier. Trees are like people, and he shall be like a tree planted by the river, and whatsoever he doeth, he shall prosper. Just a thought. All right, y'all have a good one. Orlando Gardener coming at you. Be safe.